All right, the Sort of Sports Podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have the big salad!
On now to Season 2, Episode 14? I think so. Well, here's your host, Quinn Maseko.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everybody here on Monday, January 17th, in honor of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his passion for civil rights he led during the 1950s and 60s in the United States. We shall overcome. And if you have a chance this week, after this is posted, to listen to his March on Washington Street, please do so on YouTube. Maybe we'll just post the link in the comments there that we were listening to earlier.
We can do that.
Yes. So, all right. In today's episode, we talk about Brian Flores' firing.
Sorry, I hid the topics from you.
In my talk. Talk about Brian Flores' firing, where he might end up, what a coaching job is the most attractive. But we begin today with this past Monday's game with Georgia and Alabama in the College Football Playoff Championship. And as we both took Alabama to win this game because we didn't trust Georgia, what credit do you have to give to Georgia for beating Alabama 33-18?
Well, I mean, good work to Kirby Smart. He finally got it done.
Second assistant to ever beat Nick Saban, and they both happened this year.
Yeah. So good work to him. And Stetson Bennett, heck of a story. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
I also did you see his interview where he
Won't go
said,
anywhere in the NFL,
"Did you see? Yeah,
there.
Did you see his interview where he's like, yeah? They're like, what are you doing after this, Stetson? He's like, I'm going to law school.
Exactly. He's not going to the NFL.
I was like, well, smart guy.
It's not good enough to be in the NFL.
So it's a cool story. I mean, they won because they have a good defense. I mean, what sealed the game was that pick six. Mm-hmm. And you know
Bryce
me.
Young it was uncharacteristic of Bryce Young to play that bad.
2 interceptions.
Yes.
I think that game might have made it so Stroud is now ranked number 1 and like the 2023 NFL draft quarterback prospects. Stroud's probably number 1 now.
Maybe. Here's the stats. Bryce Young, 35 of 57. I don't think he's ever thrown that many passes this season in a game.
Yeah.
369 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, his QBR, 82.3.
Has he ever thrown 2 picks in a game?
Nope. I don't think he ever threw.
I don't even think he threw an interception, period.
He threw 7 interceptions.
7, okay.
Don't give him just no interceptions at all.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Every great passer throws interceptions. Can't do that. Let's see if I can get to this. I want to see. It's not going to give me my games, I bet. That's the problem.
It's not going to show you it?
Oh, here we go.
I guarantee he never threw more than 1.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, he never threw. The highest he threw were 57 passes in a game this season, and the closest one would be against Auburn that he threw 51, but that went into quadruple overtime, so that's a little different.
He threw less than a quadruple overtime than him.
He never had a game with multi picks.
Yeah, that's definitely his worst game, and I think people are starting because everybody was talking about him versus Stroud for that draft, and now it's. When I'm the Detroit Lions and I'm thinking about my quarterback I'm taking next year, I just want to say the Lions actually...
You won't be doing that because you're probably going to keep Jared Goff for another year anyway.
Well, no, I'm saying my thing with the Lions is they're building a nice team there because they're building everything.
Like Dan Campbell there.
Yep, and they're building a good defense. They're going to get Hutchinson. That's going to be good for them. Then, their wide receivers starting to come around like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was a steal. Mm-hmm. Then, obviously, DeAndre Swift is a great young running back. Mm-hmm. I mean, he might have the Jonathan Taylor story next year.
Possible.
And then Goff is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, even though he was in that game one time. Mm-hmm. But what I think is interesting is if they go like this and ride this out, down the road, I could see them, building an amazing team. And especially if Rodgers potentially leaving Green Bay this year, next year, that division kind of becomes wide open because the Vikings are always cursed with having great position players and not a very good quarterback. I mean,
they have a really good quarterback and they just can't win.
Yeah, I guess that's true too. And then, the Bears have Fields, but can they put it all together? I don't know.
Well, they got rid of Nagy finally. That was a smart decision.
So I think the NFC North is becoming very interesting because I think all 3 of those teams except the Packers have potential to get better. Mm-hmm. The Packers, this is their peak. This is their final run, and they know it. Because Devontae might be out too.
Well, he might be leaving.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Yikes. But back to the Georgia game. Props to them. I didn't really watch the game. I didn't think it'd be that interesting.
I kept texting you to watch the game.
And so then I did. I finally did. I went downstairs and I watched that final Bama drive, and I watched 4 plays. And the 4th play I watched, pick 6. I texted you, said, that's the game. I tweeted, and then I went to bed.
Yeah.
I was like, that's game.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched parts of the first half. The second half, I watched all of it probably because it was 9-6 at halftime. I mean, that's still
it was a good game.
It was still interesting. We all thought that it wasn't going to be a good game, and it turned out to be probably the best matchup they could have had in there, in my opinion. So that's going to be me.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I give credit to Kirby Smart and the defense for changing their game plan this time because now there were a couple times Alabama did miss some deep throws, which they should have taken advantage, like they did in the SEC championship game.
I mean, we can talk about some of those drop passes Alabama had where there was a couple. I'm like, I don't know if that's on Young. I don't know if that's the receiver. I can't remember what receiver it was. Might have been Williams on the stretch in that last play. He has it and drops it.
Yep.
He Deontay Johnson did.
Yep. Yes, he did.
Those tennis balls didn't work for you.
I know. And, and I really thought that momentum was going to shift because of that weird fumble by Stetson Bennett. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Where it was a fumble that came almost out of bounds, and it was a recovery just barely because nobody even realized it was going to be a recovery there by the sideline. But I give credit to the defense. They rallied to the ball. They tackled. They actually got pressure with 4 this time instead of having to blitz. So that's what benefited Georgia right there. So, first time since Herschel Walker to win a championship there for the University of Georgia. UGA, that is they use their acronym as their mascot's name.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, for the real bulldog, not the mascot bulldog, but the real bulldog.
Like the live one, yeah.
Yes, the live one. So that's what's kind of crazy.
Does Bama have a live elephant?
I don't know about that one. I don't think it could live in that. It could probably pass for that environment.
Yeah,
it could.
Yeah, it could.
It could. Speaking of elephants, right now, I'm going to put this plug in, which is a random plug right here. But the World Wildlife Fund is trying to raise money for elephants, especially in Sri Lanka, because there's a group of 20 of them that have because Sri Lanka is now became one of the world's largest landfills because they take the industrialized nations basically, since they can't get rid of the plastic, they throw them into these third world countries.
Oh, okay,
It sits there in these giant pools. Excuse me. So there's a group of elephants there, and they're dying because they've gotten trapped into this landfill, and they keep eating the plastic, so they're dying from ingesting all that. So I'm just saying, donate to the World Wildlife Fund there. They're a very good organization. They donate most of their money, actually, not like the Wounded Warrior Project, even though it's a very good cause. They only donate 27% of their money to Wounded Warriors and not to their CEO's pay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on.
We are in no way sponsored by the World Wildlife Federation. Because they actually donate the money. They do.
Kind of like Salvation Army. Salvation Army is 92%, I'm pretty sure, last time I checked. That every dollar they donate, 92% of that, or 92 cents, goes to actual donations and not to anything else.
What's Red Cross?
I can't answer that, but I'm pretty sure it's the late 70s. It's in the high 70s, early 80s. So
what would you say is probably good? Like what do you?
What I'd say is probably good, 100%. But
that's kind of impossible. Yeah,
right? You're non-profit. You're going to have no profit. So I guess my thing would be at least 70%.
Yeah.
I mean, is my opinion. Because you're going to have overhead still. Somebody's got to run the buildings. Somebody still has to.
Somebody's got to turn on the lights.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably going to have to pay at least a handful of people to run the thing. Okay.
You can't be a true nonprofit.
Yeah, you can't be a true nonprofit. There's still going to be related costs.
Speaking of nonprofits, did you see the guy who bet $220K on the Steelers to win?
But he was only going to get back $200,000.
The Steelers weren't favored.
I know, but somebody had it on Twitter, and they said I could bet $220,000 on the Steelers to win right now, and I was going to get back $200,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What a bad bet that would have been.
Wow. Well, that guy did it. So
he lost $220,000.
He's probably some rich businessman in Pittsburgh, and him and his buddies were talking about the game, and he goes, Big Ben might be able to pull this one out. And they said, really? Put your money in your mouth, and he pulled out his pocket change and bet it.
They tried it. They did something in the beginning. The first
TJ Watt was pretty good.
20 minutes of game time was great.
I was sitting there with my family watching, and of course my dad, big Steelers fan. You're a big Steelers fan. Mm-hmm. Me, big Mahomes fan.
I know.
And I'm watching this game. I'm like, what are the Chiefs doing?
Exactly. I thought, oh shit, there's the 2 turnovers I needed. I said I wanted 5 turnovers last week. If you guys didn't remember that, I said 5 interceptions. But I thought, well, 2 turnovers right there. That's good enough.
Yeah, no, and
That
then,
was the best, is that they got that big old punt return, and they came right down. It was a deflected interception. I thought if we could only have ran that one back.
oh my gosh, that was horrifying. And honestly, it was right after the Steelers scored that touchdown, T.J. Watt. I turned and I said, "Quit the cute stuff. Just march down the field. Quit doing the trick
They
plays."
still do the cute things in the
Okay,
red
but
zone.
they in the red zone. I'm saying when you're on the 40-yard line in Steeler territory, why are we doing cute stuff? Like, just run a post route. Just run a post route. It's fine. We don't always have to do slip screens and all this crap. Like, just sometimes we can run normal plays. Don't have to do jet sweep. Like, it's fine. So then they started doing normal plays. He kicked it Tyreek Hill. He kicked it Travis Kelce. He kicked it Tyreek Hill. They're in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you do it, Chiefs. Just boom, bam, 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 boom. That's what they're good at. They don't need to
They're
do
going
all
to have an interesting offseason, because I was already looking on their free agents. They
yeah.
only have 30 players contracted for next year.
Yeah, I know.
They only have $27 million to play around with, so they're going to be losing some people.
Well, it's like Mahomes said years ago. He's like, the issue we're going to run into is,
That's the best thing with the NFL. They force you to get rid of your good players into the salary cap.
Yep.
That's how it makes it.
I think the Chiefs are going to go through a bit of a drought potentially, because I think they're going to lose. They're going to have to lose Hill or Travis. I don't think Kelce would
It happened
leave.
to Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think
Kelsey's not going anywhere because he's already in his mid-30s and he can stay low grade.
exactly. Kelce's the one. Hill is the one I'm worried about. Is Tyreek Hill?
He can go.
Tyreek Hill could go wherever he wanted.
But let's remember, who's got the biggest contract on there?
Mahomes.
Yep, and guess what?
For a good reason.
And here's another one. You can't restructure that well because it's all roster bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Now they can turn that into a signing bonus, but then you know what your trouble is there.
You're just pocketing out money.
No, you're sending it now. You're just deferring it till later. So that's what kind of happened with the Steelers. Now, obviously, we didn't know that the budget was going to crunch because of COVID, but that's what happened because Big Ben and some of the higher players, they kept deferring the money, taking the signing bonuses, which they go out over 5 years instead of getting paid at once. So right now, Patrick Mahomes is owed next year $27.4 million on a roster bonus. That's where most of his money's at. So they could turn that into a signing bonus and defer it if they need more money. But then 5 years later on the road, you have to pay out most of that money. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's
interesting. Interesting.
That's I've learned a little bit about that. But anyway, enough about the Chiefs because we're going to hear plenty of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Probably gonna be hearing about them in February.
Maybe.
It's them or the Bengals.
Yeah,
I said it. It's them or the Bengals, the Super Bowl.
I picked the Bills. So
No.
Anywho,
No.
So last week, Miami, because they don't know what they're doing either, even though they're on the
Stupid.
other opposite of I-4. I mean, excuse me, they're not on I-4. They're on the south side of the I-4 corridor compared to Jacksonville being on the north side. Nobody in Florida knows what's going on in football except Tampa Bay for now.
Yeah.
And they fired Brian Flores. And Brian Flores, who had that team turning around.
I think his career their record was 24-25.
And yes, and here's the thing too. If you think about this, he is the only successful Belichick assistant at a head coach position. You think
That's interesting, yeah.
Think about it. Even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, 10-6, because that was a weirdo year. But he went 24-25, like Ryan said, and then this past year they finished winning 8 out of 9 straight games, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they would
They're
fire him.
stupid.
So you go ahead. You tell me how surprised you are about that.
Okay, so we recorded a podcast last week. I was like, I guess we're giving Rule another year. I'm not super happy about it, but whatever. Then when Flores got fired, you got a lot of text from me because I'm furious. I'm like, Flores is fired, and we're sitting here, Matt Rule. We could drop Matt Rule, the Panthers could, and go and get Brian Flores, and I think he could turn this entire team around. He'd probably draft a quarterback, or he'd go make a move and try to get us Russell Wilson. Like, he'd be doing something. He's Flores. I mean, he's going to want to make a big move. Now, I'm just really frustrated because Flores, to me, was, you and I are big Flores people. He's one of my favorite coaches in the league. I think he's a great coach. I think no matter where he goes, that team's going to be competitive.
Yep.
He wants to win and build a winning culture. That's what he tried to do with the Dolphins. But the management, I guess, wants to lose all the time. So it's really frustrating to me. Honestly, I'm not a huge Brandon Staley guy, but he would be great for the Chargers because they need defense. Like if they could just get him as a DC or something like that.
Oh, who? Oh, Flores?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to... I mean, Staley's not a very good defensive coach, as we saw this year.
Isn't he offensive?
Staley?
Yeah. Isn't he an offensive-minded coach?
Yeah. And I'm saying, why don't they go get Flores to be their DC? Because he's a good coach. Because you're not going to get rid of Staley after the year he had. I'm saying, I understand that. But I'm also saying, you could stack... I'm not a huge Brandon Staley guy. But I don't... There's no way the Chargers management's just going to fire him after a first year where he was one game away from the playoffs. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But, I'm just saying, if we're being smart and thinking outside the box, I could see him going to the Chargers. But let's be realistic. Bears, maybe?
Well, we might talk about that in toss-up today.
Okay. Well, I didn't look ahead. I should have looked ahead. My point is, I'm very frustrated because I think out of every head coach firing, there is one that was deserved and didn't get it, and one that is in no shape or form deserved and did get it, and that's Flores and Rule. Rule should have been fired, and he wasn't. Brian Flores in no way should have been fired, and he was. So that's stupid, and I wish that the Panthers would drop for Rule right now and go get Flores, but they didn't. So, And if the Panthers are good next year and Matt Rule's coach of the year, I will wholeheartedly admit my wrongdoings. But for the time being, I want him out, and I wish we had Flores. So.
Yeah. I'm going to put a pox on the NFL here because, especially after what happened starting before the 2020 season with the push of racial and social justice and minority ownership and racial minority coaches, the push there. Right now, currently, the only minority head coach in NFL is Tomlin. Right now.
No, I brought that up. Yeah, I thought of that too because I was like, are there any minority coaches? And I thought about it. I was like, there's no one. And then you were like, no, Tomlin. And I was like, you're right. Yeah.
So this is where...
And Tomlin's a heck of a coach. Like, what's...
Right.
Woo,
but I'm going to point two cases where black coaches were fired that shouldn't happen. This is one, technically, and I'm sorry, Brian Flores is Latino. He's Haitian. That he was fired, and he should have stayed. There's no reason why he should have been fired. And then number two, Anthony Lynn. I still disagree with Anthony Lynn being fired.
Yeah, that was bad too.
They just drafted Justin Herbert. They went 7-9. They were on the upswing. Anthony Lynn is a defensive minded, so probably could have fixed more of the defense. The offense was already coming on the rise. So I disagree with both those. I'm going to say right here, out of all we have all these coaching positions that are open. There are 4 people, at least 4 black coordinators right now that should be getting a look. And so we got Leslie Frazier,
Todd Bowles,
Byron Leftwich, and Eric Bieniemy. And if none of those 4 people get hired this offseason, I'm going to be yelling at Roger Goodell. Because they need to institute, they had the Rooney Rule that came in 2003. Obviously, people aren't following the Rooney Rule, so they got to get something a little more stricter to get
honestly
decorated
black coaches. If I'm a smart team right now, you and I have been saying for years, if you have a good young quarterback that you think needs to be taken advantage of, get Bieniemy.
I know.
It's like, Reed helped Mahomes, but Bieniemy's just as important in Mahomes' growth.
He is, and that would be so interesting to see a Chiefs team without Eric Bieniemy too.
It would be, but here's what I think. I think this might be Reed's last year with all the stuff going on with him, and that's why Bieniemy's not going anywhere else.
He knows he's going to be taking
because
over.
He's taking over. That's my theory.
Right.
That's my conspiracy.
I think that's a good theory. I think it's a good theory. I like it.
But you know who I think would be a heck of a coach for whoever hires him is Todd Bowles. Yeah. I mean, they were just who was calling the Bucks? Who was Bucks game? Was that
yesterday?
Yeah,
Troy and Joe.
It was Troy. Troy said he goes, I don't know why somebody hasn't hired Todd Bowles as head coach. He's a heck of a DC.
Oh, he went to the Jets, which is, not the best place to be. But he's recovered his image, so I don't know why there's that big a deal. Plus, actually, you know what? He wasn't too bad at the Jets. He was 10-6 in his first year, and then went 5-11, 5-11, 4-12. So
they are the Jets, though.
Yes, they are the Jets. Jets, Jets. I personally think, according to a lot of the insiders, Byron Leftwich is the head. As the front runner, for the head coaching position in Jacksonville. And even though it's a terrible place to be, I still think he could do well there with his offense with a little more dynamic quarterback with Trevor Lawrence.
They've got good pieces.
They do have good pieces. They just need a better coach.
Especially, they can run a 2 running back set with James Robinson and Travis Etienne. They have a great quarterback. I don't know. I always do that. I'm sorry. You know what it is? Is that I never watched Clemson. Like when he was in college, I watched Clemson once. once because I don't like them.
Ohio State in the semifinal, right?
Yep, that was no, twice I guess.
Twice.
LSU and Ohio State,
Yeah.
and I probably wasn't paying too much attention to Clemson
Yeah.
because I was just like, oh, Burrow,
I
oh,
know.
I was just going
you
nuts.
and your bromance for Burrow. That's how it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I watch a Chiefs game, I'm just like, oh, Mahomes, so good. But
Remember it was such a thing when this team have a black quarterback? You don't remember that, but I mean,
that used to be a thing.
Going
Yeah.
in there, yeah.
And now it's like
we got Tua,
Lamar,
Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is.
There were Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I'm trying to think other ones. Well, there's a lot of backups. I mean, but yeah, you're saying starters.
Right. I mean, with starters.
Also, can we talk about really quick that Pittsburgh punter? Why is he so big? That guy's huge. That guy is huge.
He is. That was his best game he's punted all year.
That guy is jacked. Like he's like.
He's not jacked. He's puffy. A little
Okay,
bit.
fine, but it's like. Hey, I play in the NFL. It's like, oh, what position? Punter. I'm like, what?
263. He's 263 at 5'11".
Yeah, he's huge. He looks massive out there.
He's first team all NYC and first team all NYC.
Yeah.
First team all AAC. All ACC.
He was a graduate from Harding High School, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was from Georgia Tech. And he won the Ray Guy Award in 2020, which is given to the best punter. So
let me look up real quick. You talk about our next topic, if you want. You can just open us up, because I think we're done with
we are.
Flores. Go on.
So, obviously, we've had 5 out of our 6 Super Wild Card weekend games, and we get stuck with, the Monday Night Football guys for the Monday night game.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, anyway, which NFL playoff game gave the biggest statement for you, Ryan? Or I can go first if you'd like me to while you're researching.
You go first.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick, and he's not going to be happy with this one, but I'm going to take the Bills over the Pats because...
What the...
And, here he goes. Because here's the thing. Let's remember, a long, long time ago in this short season, that, the Patriots went up to the Bills, shoved it down their throats without passing it over 3 times, and won the game. And... guess what? They got throttled this time, 47-17.
They did.
So, I think the Bills, the offense looked great, and the defense bottled them up, and Matt actually looked like a rookie. So, I am going to give credit to the Bills, and that's why when we talk later on in toss-up, I'll give you some reasons why I'm picking them. But...
you're picking them to win.
not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. You still got the Rams.
I still got the Rams for now.
I'm really trying to find... I wish I could find this. The average weight of an NFL player, just in general, is 245 pounds. But that's including linemen. That's including everything.
Yes.
So, that guy's above the average weight, and he's a punter. I guarantee he's the biggest punter. I can't find a list
Probably is the biggest punter.
that'll list me all the punters. But it's just... anybody who watches the Pittsburgh game knows what I'm talking about. That guy's huge. So you said best games, Bills?
I think that's the biggest statement game of the weekend. Because remember, the Bills were all questions. Remember, it's another divisional. The Bills.
I said that all year, yeah.
The Bills. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's happening. Chad Hobbs is pulling the rest of his hair out. But instead, the Bills actually came to play Saturday night in the cold and won. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what happened to the Patriots. They just collapsed.
You know what I think the biggest statement game is?
What?
And this isn't me just being different to be for the sake of different, but maybe it might be. It's the Niners-Cowboys game. But for reverse reasons. Because...
reverse reasons. Biggest statement about how the Cowgirls aren't that great.
Yep, exactly.
And how they might fire Mike McCarthy, Charlie McCarthy's grandson, for... you don't know who Charlie McCarthy is. So
No.
Anyway, it's just a joke. But anywho, he was an actor. So anyway, but they might fire Mike McCarthy and just elevate Kellen Moore.
Maybe.
But I don't know if that's a recipe for success either.
I don't think so. Thing is with the Cowboys is this. They've got a team that they believe can win. And that team can win in the regular season. And then they get to the playoffs, and they don't. And here's the other thing. I do have to say, the way the seeding worked out, they played the best team that wasn't a division winner. Everybody knew this Niners team was awesome.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
You thought the Eagles were awesome too, so let's just hold on.
I thought the Eagles had upset potential. I didn't think the Eagles were going to beat the Packers or anything. I mean, I think the Niners team could beat the Packers. Like, I'm being serious.
And all 3 times that Aaron Rodgers has faced the Niners in his career in the playoffs, he's lost.
Yep, and I'm saying the Niners, to me, are insane because the defense is great. The only reason Cowboys really got back in that game is because Bosa's out. I mean, you could... Mm-hmm. And then Debo has become one of the best players in the league.
He's hybrid.
Yeah, he's a better Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah.
And I love Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah.
So... that's been insane to watch him. Brandon Ayuk's been great. Kittle's slowed down because of the injuries, but they don't really even need him as much anymore.
No, they don't depend on him.
And then the weakest part about that team is Grop, because you really can't make big plays.
Now wait till Trey Lance is quarterback in that team
Yep.
next year. And here's another thing too.
Here's my thing. I got
a
one
hot take here. But
Yep.
You go ahead. You take yours. Take your hot take.
My hot take right now
microwave, baby.
is if Rodgers is smart, he goes to San Francisco.
Well, guess what?
That team would go undefeated and win the Super Bowl.
Here's the thing right here. Now you're gonna think this is nuts, but I'm gonna sail off the Rodgers boat right
Okay.
here. All right, Jimmy G, Pittsburgh, right there.
I like that.
You see?
No, I like that.
You know what? You won't have to overpay for him that much either.
You could be competitive with him, and yet in a couple years when the right quarterback prospect comes along, you can draft him.
Yep, and you know what you could also do is you can say, okay, I still have enough money to dish around and get some better linemen here. Because you know what? Some of those backup, like Alec Reddy, I take him on the Steelers team right now because he's better than one of my guards I got.
Yeah.
And Remmers, he's a backup. I take him too. They're both free agents.
Yep. No, I think that's a good point. Because Garoppolo is unlike a lot of players where he's good, he can be competitive, you can win games with him.
His percentage is over 70%, I'm pretty sure.
You can win. You can potentially get to a Super Bowl with him, but he will never be a big play guy that can clutch up.
We don't need that.
And you don't. If you have Najee Harris and you have Claypool and Juju who can make big plays.
Juju, if he stays,
yeah,
he's a free agent.
If you have guys who can make big plays, you don't really need to worry about it.
He's seen a line to block.
Shanahan's really impressive though because we should really talk about him being one of the best coaches in the league because. Garoppolo, we all know, is probably, if we rank the best quarterback in the league, he's probably going to fall around 12. What? If that? Yeah, exactly. That's probably high. And I'm saying, he's definitely not top 10. And yet, he made it to a Super Bowl. Shanahan is just coaching. Like, he builds that team so well to work with Grop. Even though we all know Grop isn't amazing, but that's the cards are dealt, and that's what they work with. And I think it's really impressive. So... yeah, I think Garoppolo's really an interesting player that way.
Yeah. I think, and I really
he's almost like a better Joe Flacco, and not better in the sense of big plays. Better as in he doesn't make big plays.
Did win a Super Bowl.
What?
Joe Flacco did win a Super Bowl.
And I'm saying Flacco tried to make big plays sometimes.
Right.
Kind of like Stafford, where I'm like, no, you don't need to do it. Stop. But and then he throws a pick. When Stafford does that, you're like, no, Stafford, stop. Don't go for the 30-yard play. Just take the 15 one. It's okay. Stafford does that, and that's what Flacco do. Garoppolo just is like, all right, 5-yard gain, 10-yard gain, 5-yard gain, hand it off, hand it off, red zone. That's...
the thing about this, and I'm just going to say this, that was a good statement game for Jimmy G, because he probably knows he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay? And that team rallied around him to get a win and play one more weekend. So I'm going to say that. I'm also going to make this statement too, real quick. And actually, I'm going to make it later. I'm going to change my mind.
Okay.
So go ahead.
To me, that was a big statement game on both sides because the Niners came out and were like, yeah, you guys knew we were awesome, and you're right. We're legit a contender. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, I wholeheartly think this Niners team is scary.
Yes.
And... also, some of the best jerseys in the league. I'm always big on the jerseys.
You're big on the jerseys.
Every color on that jersey pops.
They haven't changed in 40 years. So.
For good reason. The Cowboys should change theirs. I'm not a big Cowboys jersey guy. I don't really like them. But that also could be my bias for the fact that I hate the Cowboys. But point is, the Niners made the statement of, yeah, we're probably better than some division winners. And I'm like, yeah, you probably are. Like, honestly, I think out of the NFC West teams, I think the Niners are better than the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. And I think they're potentially almost on the... I think the Rams have a higher ceiling, but at the moment, the Niners are playing above their potential. The Niners are outplaying what they should be at.
I can see it.
They've played incredible football last, 2 weeks.
I agree.
I'm saying I wish I could say bigger weeks, but, they did take that loss to the Texans, didn't they? No, they barely beat them. I can't remember what happened there.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
But you know what really grinds my gears?
And then the Cowboys, like I said, this proved that
Yeah.
they're just disappointing like always.
They are disappointing.
What grinds your gears?
Okay, this is what grinds my gears, all right? How about all these Browns fans last night on Facebook posted about how my team, the Steelers, is getting pounded by the Chiefs, yet they were the paper champions and couldn't even make the playoffs. So there you go.
Injury.
So, get a little shirt from Molly there. But I'm just saying that, right?
Yeah,
Remember everyone anointed him, and we gave him the AFC North to start the year. We both chose them.
I put him in
we
the
both
Super Bowl.
Fell into you put him in the Super Bowl. I wasn't that gullible, but we both supported them to win the division, which is probably not the smartest decision.
You want to talk about a team that do well with Jimmy G?
Possibly.
I mean, if
They're not getting rid of Baker.
no. You keep Baker. You keep Baker, and if he's not 100% by week 1. Throw in
He'll
Jimmy
be
G.
100% by week 1.
Fine,
It's not going to
fine,
take forever to
fine.
recover.
That's a good point. Jimmy G, I just think just proved that doesn't matter what team you put him on, he can make it competitive. Also, the kings of cute stuff are the Niners
Tom
Cardinals.
Brady was supposed to be shafted away for him
Oh yeah,
in 2017.
oh yeah.
Let's remember
That's
this.
Bill's boy.
That is Bill's boy. I think Bill's still regretting that one.
Nah, I like Mac.
I know, but I think he still wanted Jimmy G to begin with. I think he went Tom
You and I
earlier.
talked last year. We thought they were going to go get Jimmy G. We didn't think they were going to draft.
Oh, yes. And by the way, they lost to the Titans, by the way, in that close one, remember?
Oh, okay, that's who it was.
Yes.
So, there was something else I had about Jimmy G and all of that. Oh, the king of cute stuff, like slip screens and
Yeah.
all that. Cardinals, Niners. Easily. Is there anybody else who does more cute crap like that?
No.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
the Chiefs sometimes.
Yeah, but the Chiefs do cute stuff because they have Mahomes. It's not like written up. He's just like, oh, I think I'm going to just scramble around. I'm going to run left and then throw it right for the kick. Did you see when he did that last night? He ran to the right, even though all the routes are going left, and then threw it cross-body just to
Yes,
mess with the
Mahomes.
defense. Yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
he's
It
nuts.
Didn't work that time.
No, he did. It was completion, I thought.
No, it was knocked away from Kelsey.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
Of the good defensive play
because
last night.
they called it out. The Sunday Night Football crew was like, Collinsworth. I'm not a big Collinsworth guy.
I know
either.
you aren't.
I just put Romo in every game. I like Romo the best.
Well, here's the thing. Wait till next year when they're both gone. It's going to be Tirico and Breeze. Can you handle that?
I don't know. I don't really watch that.
I can handle Maria Taylor at halftime, though.
Yeah, she's good. Well, I think she's good. Like, honestly, she's actually, my mom pointed it out when we were watching the game. For the Sunday Night Football picks, she's the most right.
She's good.
Yeah, like, she knows what she's talking about.
Well, she was a basketball player, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think she was too.
Yes, and yes. And that my little laugh right there, by the way, was that she's not only a good reporter, but she's also, maybe I'm love struck about her. But anyway, she is 31. But anyway.
Yeah, it might be a little out of your age range.
Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, I'm looking up real quick what she was. I know she played. I'm pretty sure she played some sport. Centennial High School, not in Ohio. That's in Atlanta. Roswell, that's a suburb. She went to the University of Georgia. She played both volleyball and basketball.
Whoa!
Look at her. She was a two-sporter, baby. And there you
At
go.
a D1, no less.
That's right. ESPN lost out on that deal, and they said, we're going to choose Rachel Nichols over her. She thought they were just playing the black card over her, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah, and wasn't.
Yep.
So anyway, she was in
Yep.
the wrong. Maria Taylor, she
Yep.
won out. She got more money. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yep.
Good enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that. We got to move on, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
We should move on.
All right. There are many NFL head coaching jobs open right now, including the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Broncos,
Bears.
the Bears, the Texans,
Yep.
and is that it for now? Only those 5?
I think so.
And the Giants. Don't forget about the Giants.
Yeah, are either of us saying they're the most attractive?
No, but I'm just saying, which one is the most attractive to you?
Can we do most attractive, least attractive?
Nah, well, if you feel like it, I'm just going to do my most attractive.
Least attractive, in my opinion, is the
Giants.
Texans. So, actually, no, you're right. It is Giants. I apologize.
Danny Dime.
Because at least with the Texans, it's like you surpassed expectations. Davis Mills was pretty good, actually. The defense was all right. Like, they're starting to get momentum. The Giants are a disappointment every year. I mean, I read Sports Illustrated. They had them making the playoffs. the Giants are a freaking disappointment. Yes. You have a guy who is projected to be one of the best running backs in the league.
The Raiders are open, too. Don't forget about that.
They're not going to get rid of Pit Boss Rich. They should re-sign him.
And the Vikings. Don't forget about the Vikings, too.
Oh, crap. I forgot about the Vikings. That's pretty good. I mean, Vikings pretty good freaking setup.
Yeah.
But, Giants, ew. No, the Giants is gross. And plus, you're in New York, and honestly, the Jets look better than you right now, and you on paper should be better. Like, that team's gross. Like, I don't want any charge. That team is disgusting. So,
nasty.
And like Saquon gets hurt all the time, but when he's in, he's good. So it's like, what do you want to do? And it's no, don't take that job. That's just a headache.
Yep.
So, and I mean, you're probably, unless you have a winning, they're just gonna fire you. Like, they never let anybody stay anymore. It's weird. It's bad.
Yep.
Honestly, the best setup. This is tough for me. I feel like there's a lot of good jobs out there. It's not like just a bunch of rebuilding teams. Like the Vikings, I mean, somebody could come in there, make them a playoff team. Mm-hmm. Raiders, same thing. Bears, honestly, I think you could turn around with a couple free agent signings and a good draft. I think there's a lot of good stuff out here. Mm-hmm. I think Eric Bieniemy should get a job. I think Todd Bowles could potentially get a job. Yep. I think also we could see Ryan Day pop up for the Bears.
Here we go again.
It's my conspiracy theory.
Okay.
But what I genuinely think is the best spot, and I hate to say it because we were talking about it last year as the best spot, is the Jaguars. You got all that cap room. You got a great quarterback. You've got a good piece offensively. Are you checking the cap space? Because I thought they had a good amount. Mm-hmm. Are you checking for me? Mm-hmm. Over the cap. Are they over?
Well, that's just what the website's called. That's all I go to. Right here. There it is.
Let's just look at everybody's space, see who has the most out of all the free ones, out of all the open head coaching positions. Let's do that.
It's loading.
Top executive, Urban Meyer. Yep. Not anymore. We got to update it.
Bad choice. It's loading in. $61 million. That's a lot of money right there.
That's a lot. I'm saying you could go out, go get. You know what they could do, and I don't think it'd happen, but you know what they could freaking do if they want to make a statement? Mm-hmm. They say, "Hey Devontae Adams. We're rebuilding over here. This division's kind of wide open. Get over here."
And here's the thing, too. They've already contracted 46 players for next year. So they're not, they don't have to reach out for too many.
Nope.
And they could cut some people or get rid of them. They could use some pieces to get rid of them. Look at James Robinson, only getting paid that much.
Well, he was also undrafted, and he's a stud. I mean, him and Austin Eckler, two great running backs, both undrafted.
Undrafted. Yeah. Hey, there's Chase on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Josh Allen getting paid a bunch. Okay, that's decent.
Well, he's worth that.
I know, but he's only in his rookie.
Myles Jack, $10 million.
Yeah, he's a good linebacker.
He is.
Shaquille Griffin, he's getting paid that much.
They've got a decent defense, honestly.
They do have a decent defense.
Why don't Todd Bowles go there? He's a defensive-minded coach. I mean, you get a good OC to work with Trevor.
Could.
And he could stay in Florida.
I know, but I think that's why I think they're both open. I think they both interviewed both Todd and Byron for that. Both Bucks coordinators, excuse me.
No. If you're going to pull from any team's coordinators, I think the Bucks are some of your best ones. Bucks and Chiefs are the ones you want. I mean,
yes, pull them. Or the Bills.
Honestly, who's the Chiefs? Who's the Chiefs DC? Because
Spagnuolo.
Yeah, I forgot his name. He's good. I mean,
okay. Here's the thing about the Chiefs defense. I was gonna make this statement later, but now that you brought it up, you invoked it now. Okay, this is like Night Court with Marky Post. You invoked it. I'm coming for you. Okay, they're only the 26th ranked defense in the league. They're awful.
I guess you're right.
But they've held the points down. They give up a lot of yards, but they're more of a bend, don't break. They're kind of what the Chargers were supposed to be. The Chargers started breaking at the end.
I think the Chiefs' defense is a classic case of, like, the eye test. Mm-hmm. When you watch it, you're like, man, that's good defense. And then you look at the numbers, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, yeah.
It's reverse Joey Votto. It's like, wait, the eye test.
Eye test, yeah.
Eye test says good.
This is a joke.
The numbers say.
Eye test.
Here's what I thought of the other day. Uh-huh. And I mean, let's be honest. Baseball stats are not borderline. Offensively, baseball stats are pretty freaking accurate, right? Mm-hmm. Baseball stats are pretty good. NFL, kind of hit or miss. Some stats. Some of the next-gen stuff they're starting to pull out is interesting. Mm-hmm. But overall, NBA, at borderline doesn't really matter until you get into the really deep stuff. And even the deep stuff doesn't really show that much. I mean, it's like, oh, wait, Steph Curry and LeBron are the best players? Mm-hmm. Huh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the NBA, it's really hard to rate on a number like what Jarrett Allen does better than Nikola Jokic defensively. Like, there's really not a number for that.
Yes.
And so I think it's interesting because football, sometimes, baseball, they've really, stats are really important. Football, kind of, and then NBA borderline doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, points obviously matter. Percent shooting, true shooting does matter to a point, but you can't really determine someone's value off a number. As a baseball, you kind of can. So I just think it's interesting. That was just a quick aside. What are you going to say about the Vikings?
Well, that's good. This is my most attractive.
Okay.
This right here at the Vikings. Now, they have 49 players contracted, so there are only 4 players left, but look at the cap space. They're 11 over already.
Yeah,
so,
that's not
here's
good.
the problem. Kirky's salary is
Holy crap!
It's fully guaranteed. His
$35 million.
His cap number is 45 because of a prorated bonus. So what they can do is with his base salary, they can rip it up. And just re-sign him to a new contract to save money, which they could do. But look here, too, at Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, spelled Danielle, but it's pronounced Danielle, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
And his cap number is $26 million, but they could change that roster bonus into a signing bonus and save. Same thing here with Harrison Smith as well.
Now,
look at Thielen right here. He only makes $16 million. That's
Jay Jettis only makes 3.5.
Yeah, well, he's on a rookie contract.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
how
I'm
you
saying he's
benefit.
nuts. They
nuts.
need to extend him immediately.
So, okay, he's only in his second year of his rookie contract. Look at this. And the ad on this
Get
page...
the talks going on now.
Here's what's funny. The ad on this page is Sandra Bullock's son is all grown. He looks familiar. I don't know what that means.
I think it looks like Keanu Reeves, but honestly, I think it's a picture of her and Keanu Reeves. So
And
I
you know
think
what?
it's a...
And here's my opinion, too. I bet that's malware anyway. So why would you want to click on it?
Yeah, exactly. You're probably right.
But anyway, I think it's the Vikings. They have a good defense, good quarterback statistically. They just need to win games. Get somebody that's a winner there. Like maybe... a Brian Flores could go there now. That's really his fit.
Yeah, no,
I know, but it doesn't seem like his.
That's
fit.
not his fit.
His fit seems a little more south, but I think I could see maybe a Leslie Frazier going there. Now, wasn't he already there before though? I know, or maybe where was he? Where was he?
Check. Leslie Frazier. I don't know. That's a good point.
He was somewhere before.
Yes,
he was.
There he was.
Now, was he the head coach or was he?
He looked really happy to be there in that picture. He's got a scowl going on.
Yep, he was there for 3 seasons. He went 10-6 one year, 4 seasons.
Lost to Green Bay Packers in the NFC Wildcard.
Yeah, so there you go.
His head coaching
I'm sorry,
record
he was
is
the interim head coach
21-32-1.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're probably not going to hire him. So maybe Todd Bowles goes there instead. I could see a Todd Bowles there.
Yeah, but I think they're going to want someone more offensive to take advantage
Well, then maybe
of
they
Jay
take a Byron
Jettis.
Leftwich or an Eric Bieniemy.
I would like Leftwich. I think Bieniemy's just sticking because he's going to take over.
Maybe Dayball's going there. I mean, he's the Bills OC. I could see him going there.
Maybe Lincoln Riley makes another shock move.
He's not moving.
I'm kidding.
He just got paid $11 million and paid another $2 million for his house.
Gets
He
his
didn't even
private
sell.
jet.
Yeah, a private jet. Can I get a private jet here? Yeah.
I don't care. I could be coaching at frickin' Eastern Michigan, and I'd be happy with. I'd be happy with the contract they gave him.
I don't know what to say. All right. Enough about coaching positions. It's time for toss-up here.
Enough about coaching positions. The first toss-up is about one.
Two men enter. One man picks heads all the time and wins both, and then heads on home with the win. And the other stays here. But anyway, what's first? Where were Brian Flores up? The Houston Texans or somewhere else?
Well, you're saying Texans of the field. I'm gonna say ooh, that's tough. I honestly think the Texans is a really good setup for him, isn't it?
That's why I made this
Because he can kind of rebuild it a little. You know where I honestly think would be a great spot for him? I'm just tossing this out there. There's 2 places that have head coaches.
Okay,
First one I already mentioned was the Panthers. I'm not going to go any deeper on that because
Yeah,
I'm still
you're not
upset.
getting that.
I want Brian Flores so bad. I would
Well,
buy
you're
a
not
custom
getting-
T-shirt that said Flores on it.
Okay.
Like the baseball jerseys where the
Yes,
managers wear it. I would
yes.
totally love Flores. But another one, but I like Campbell, is the Lions. He would be great on the Lions. But I like Campbell, so.
Well, he's not leaving. He just got through his first season.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just saying they're not going to do that, but I just think it's interesting. I think the Texans is honestly a good fit because he can rework the defense. He's got Davis Mills that he can trust, and if he doesn't like him, he can kick him out. We know he's a big Deshaun Watson fan, so if that ever works itself out, he can take it. If it doesn't work itself out, he can draft his own. I think that's honestly a pretty good setup. He can literally do whatever he wants.
Yep.
I think that's probably a good odds.
I'm taking the field,
Okay.
and the reason is I'm going to take the Bears.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the Bears are going to be the.
See, I think they want someone more offensively minded for Fields.
Yes, but I think because his resemblance, because of Tua being a mobile quarterback as well, I think that's why I could see him working with Fields on offense. Now they need to get some better pieces there. And yes, he did want Herbert.
That's what I thought.
And
I thought that. I remember Flores wanted Herbert over Tua, but the GM said no. So I just think it's stupid. Because I'm like, if you would have listened to Flores then you would have Herbert, and you'd be better off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, yeah, there's always the what if Herbert doesn't meet some guy in the Chargers organization. But I'm saying overall, I mean, if we're just playing it straight up what if,
right?
The Dolphins are a playoff team right now.
Straight up what if, baby. And the Bears right now have $40 million in cap space. So, I can just see, for some reason, it seems like they have a good defense there at the Bears. He can make them even better, and I think he can help fix the offense.
Still got Khalil Mack, right?
Still got Khalil Mack. He's making $31 million a year.
Does he deserve it? What's his PFF? I'm not a huge PFF guy.
I'm not a PFF fan either.
I'm
so
not.
I don't really care to use them.
It's just hard to tell in guys like Khalil Mack because, like, he's good, but how good?
Eye test, remember? Eye test.
Eye test is honestly the way to go sometimes with defensive guys because, I mean, there's usually you can tell who the best 5 guys are based off the numbers, and then everybody else just eye test. Because T.J. Watt and Garrett and Micah Parsons are good because of the numbers.
Yes.
And Aaron Donald, obviously.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is just like, man, Nick Bosa's good. Like, it's honestly the best way to look at it.
Both Bosa's, Cam Hayward, all those kinds of people. Yeah.
Who else? Who else am I thinking of?
Christian Jones.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. The defensive player, not the offensive.
Yeah, the defensive player. Well, I mean, the Bills, we talked, if they were going to make it to the Super Bowl, they had to have Josh Allen, the offensive player, show up, and he did.
For one game. He's got 3 more to go.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next. Last one. It is a rematch from earlier on Sunday. The Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's one of the best games of the year. One of the best AFC titles in the last couple of years was them. I mean, it was a heck of a game.
We watched it here.
Yep. That was exciting. Do you really expect me to not go with my Chiefs? Come on. Patrick Mahomes, boy. The Chiefs, baby. It's hard to beat a team twice. It's hard to beat a team twice. You know it.
I know it. Well, I'm setting you up for failure.
Unless it's the Steelers.
So I can take the Bills. What?
I said it's hard to beat a team twice unless it's the Steelers.
Hey, they swept both the Browns and the Ravens this year.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that, baby.
That's true.
All right. Well, here's how it was earlier in the year. 38-20 when the Bills came to Kansas City and won. Here's the box score here. Josh Allen, 15-26, 315 yards. Woo, mama. And 3 touchdowns there. 3 tutties. He also ran for 11 carries, 59 yards, and a tutty. So he had 4 touchdowns he was there for. Now the Chiefos, Patrick Mahomes was 33-54 for 272, 2 tutties, 2 interceptions, and he was sacked twice.
That was back when the Chiefs were not doing well.
Well,
it's before they got it figured out. Now they got it figured out.
Who knows what happens?
It's a different Chiefs team. It's the Ohio State argument.
I'm taking the Bills, baby.
No.
And that's how it's going to be.
I don't trust that Bills team. I don't trust them.
He doesn't trust them. I'm going to trust them. I'll take the Bills.
I trust, you know who I trust more than this Bills team? The Lamar Ravens if everybody's healthy.
No.
Yes. Yes. I think Lamar could have a career year next year because everybody's doubting them.
No, he's doubted in his whole career.
And I think he's a heck of a player.
We'll just see what happens next year. He's got to recover from his injured ankle.
Yep.
All right. On to Ryan's special section. Ryan, go.
Well, I was going to take a look at the NBA All-Stars on my own show.
Oh, are you changing? Oh,
but,
you're still doing it here now. Okay.
But, that's in 5 days, and I don't have a lot I'm ready to talk about yet. I mean, I think I covered everything.
Plus, we got basketball.
Exactly. So I have a pretty busy week. So we're going to do my official 2022 NBA All-Star voting right now. Obviously, I've voted a couple times already, but I haven't done my official podcast voting.
Now,
I did tweet out a joke voting.
Are you doing the starters here, or what are you doing?
You only vote starters.
Okay.
That's how the vote works.
All right. Well, then, yeah, because that's how the second placers get to be the, yeah.
Yeah. So let me vote really quick, and I will give reasoning on each, so nobody fret.
Don't worry, he's voting again, folks.
So, yeah, I voted a couple times. The NBA emailed me, and I was like, don't worry. I got you, Adam. I got you. He texted me. He's like, hey, good picks, by the way. I saw you had Taco Fall and Shake Milton. I like that. And I was like, hey, thanks. He probably gets really mad at people like me that do joke votes like that. All right, we're going to start with the West because I think it's a little less compelling. Because you got to obviously get the top vote getter, and he deserves it because right now he's the MVP, is Stephen Curry. You got to vote for him. He's been nuts. Donovan Mitchell and Luka Doncic both have more points than Ja Morant. I think, honestly, an interesting pick here would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But, no, I got to vote Ja Morant. Everybody knows I love Ja Morant, and he's been on a freaking tear, and he looks like Derrick Rose. And that's pretty sweet because I love me some Derrick Rose 2011. Now, this is where it's very boring. The front court for the West is boring. There's not a lot of fun picks here. But we're going to try to make one here with Andrew Wiggins. He's come out and had a career year. Honestly, he's finally proved that he's not absolutely terrible at the whole basketball thing, and I'm proud of him. He's putting up 18.5 points. I don't think that's the highest of his career, but if you just look at the eye test and watch him at a Warriors game, he's been their second best player before Klay Thompson showed up, and that's props because everybody thought he was a bust, and I mean, I got to hand it to Wiggins. He's really changed the narrative on his career, and I'm proud of him.
The Pelicans and Celtics are playing right now. I guess it's the noon game today.
Oh, yeah, because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They do stuff.
12:30.
My next pick, I got to go with Draymond Green. He's really turned...
all Warriors. I thought you were anti-Warriors. What just happened?
The Warriors went through the respect cycle with me, Quinn, where I used to hate them, and then the guys that were loyal stayed there and fought through, so now I really respect them.
Oh, I see.
Belichick and Brady both went through the same thing, but that was before we did podcasts. That was back when I was younger. It was Super Bowl 51. I was like, no, I hate these guys. And then 52 happened. I hate these guys. Really happy they lost. 53 happened. I'm like, okay, respect.
I still hate them, so how about you go?
See, I developed respect. See, LeBron went through the reversing with me. I used to like him, and then I stopped respecting him. And then KD's never got my respect because he never had the moment where he turned around and, stepped up. Well, no, Curry stepped up, stayed with the Warriors, and built a team off of guys that everybody thought was bad. So, and everybody thought Draymond was done. And I think, honestly, Draymond's a jerk, but he's also kind of a genius. I mean, you see him in interviews. He's an entertainment genius. He's going to have a long career probably commentating, do his Charles Barkley stuff. He's very polarizing, but... I mean, I don't know if he's the best person. He can be a jerk in interviews and stuff, but he's a heck of a defensive player, and he knows what he's doing marketing-wise. Next up, I got to vote Nikola Jokic. I mean, he's been awesome, so we're going to go with that. Also, I keep seeing these posts that are like...
You really think that LeBron will not be an all-star, a starter?
In my book, I don't have him right there. I'm trying to give it to guys that aren't getting as many votes as usual.
What about reality?
In reality... He's going to be a starter because he's the most popular, one of the most popular players. He's like fourth most popular. It's Curry, Giannis, KD, LeBron. That's the order of popularity.
Okay.
So
that's how it is.
I'm not voting LeBron because I don't really think that he's doing as much interesting things for me because Wiggins and Green are worse than him and they're producing for this Warriors team that need them, whereas LeBron is the 8th seed right now.
Nope. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's putting up good numbers. I keep seeing these posted like the NBA MVP race is heating up, and it's like LeBron stats, Jokic stats, Curry stats, Giannis stats. Okay, let's be realistic, everybody. LeBron's not winning MVP.
Okay.
Jokic is not going to repeat because his numbers aren't better than they were last year. Giannis could win it. That's a legitimate thing. But Curry could be the 1 seed with a team that on paper, without him, doesn't even make playoffs. So Curry's already the MVP. I don't understand. Stop making posts about it. Don't be dumb. Unless something weird happens, it's Curry. Giannis is the only one that has a chance. But the thing is, he won back-to-back MVPs in 2019 and 2020, so it's going to be tough for him to get some now because Curry deserves it.
Have you ever heard it? Right here. Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb. So, all right, here's my starters.
You
Curry.
You this game because it's in Cleveland?
I thought about it, honestly. I don't think I am go. Curry, Ja, Jokic, Green, Wiggins. I know I don't have LeBron. I don't like putting him there. I think Green and Wiggins are more important to the teams are doing, and you got to vote Jokic. East, DeMar DeRozan, easily. He's, to me, the 3rd MVP candidate. He's been awesome. Everybody got to love on DeMar. Not literally, though. That sounds weird. Now, then we're going to vote Darius Garland. This is bias, obviously. Jaylen Brown deserves it more. I get that, but I got to give my Cavs some votes. And Darius Garland has been great and most improved player candidate. Then for the East, I'm picking Giannis, so 2nd best player in the league. And I'm picking Jarrett Allen, my favorite guy in the Cavs and my favorite center in the league. And he deserves it, honestly. 11 rebounds, 16.6 points. He's been awesome for the Cavs, and you got to give him credit. I mean, he's one of the best players in the team, if not the best player. He's very important to what they're doing there. He's the most improved player candidate, too. I think the Cavs are going to have 2 candidates, him and Darius Garland. Now, the last one to me is tough here because a part of me wants to vote Sadiq Bey just because I love Sadiq Bey. But I look at this. Siakam's got good numbers, but it's not as impressive. And then Tatum, Embiid, and KD are the 3 highest scorers that aren't named Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I understand the KD thing. I don't think Embiid's really as... I love Joel Embiid, and his numbers are nice, but the Sixers aren't really impressing me. Tatum's not really impressing me. You know who I'm going to vote here, because not enough people are going to vote for him, is Miles Bridges for the Hornets.
Sparty, baby.
He deserves it. He's the third most improved candidate. It's him, Allen, and Garland, and potentially Tyler Hero, too. So I'm saying...
And they're the 7th seed right now.
My all-star for the East is DeMar DeRozan, Darius Garland, Giannis, Jared Allen, and Miles Bridges. Now, I know what you're saying. Ryan, you're very biased. Yes, I am. But in the same sense, it's allowed. It's my team. It's not. This is not me saying who's everybody else voting for. It's who I'm saying this is a balance of who I like and who I think deserves more credit. So that's more what this is who deserves credit. I think these Warriors guys, Green, Wiggins, deserve more credit. I think Bridges deserves more credit, so does Jared Allen. Giannis is undeniable. Curry is undeniable. Ja's undeniable. DeRozan and Jokic are undeniable. Garland is a favorite. So that's the way it's working. That is my all-star team for the West. Curry the 1, Ja the 2, Jokic, Green, Wiggins. For the East, Garland the 1, DeRozan the 2, Giannis, Bridges, Allen. So that is the special section. That is my NBA All-Star voting. And if it was that starters, I'd be very happy. Jared Allen better make the freaking team. So there it is. Did you like that?
The team.
Was that a good one?
That was a good one. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know. I might tune in this week. I might not. I mean, it's not next week. I might tune in for the All-Star game when it happens.
You should.
I might.
Ever since they put in the new system where they play, I like that system.
No, it should just be East versus West. Normal.
No. I'm talking about the scoring system. How it becomes at the end a
to hit the
pickup
match
game
number.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's awesome. No, that's great. I will not hear any slander of that. That was genius.
Okay, I'm gonna have
because it makes it competitive. It makes it competitive
instead of slander this time.
Fine,
but that's
isn't it's slander's print and word it's liable, or is it reverse?
No, slander. I got the cat going. Slander is the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging a person's reputation. Libel is a published false statement that is damaging to a person's reputation and written defamation. Libel's written. Slander spoken.
Okay, see, I was quoting the great J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. He says, I want to find the exact quote. He says, it's not slander, I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's liable.
It's liable. Yep.
Yep, that is...
That's how it is.
That's J. Jonah Jameson.
So anytime somebody
the legend himself
about you on Facebook or whatever, that's in print, so that's libel.
Yeah.
All right? This is learning lessons right now, people. Thank you to JP.
Thank you to J. Jonah Jameson for teaching me well. Yeah.
Also that, yeah.
You know what he says? You know what's another? I'm looking at some of the best J. Jonah Jameson quotes.
Yeah, look at that fake toupee.
The hair? I think J.K. Simmons actually cut his hair like that.
Okay, but J.K. Simmons had no hair in 2002. So
you don't think he had any hair? You think it's fake?
He didn't. I just saw him in Law & Order in 2000.
See, I don't watch Law & Order. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, he's an iconic character.
Fake.
I mean, every single version of J. Jonah Jameson since that movie is just doing an impression of him.
Well, why didn't they just keep
He's iconic. He's perfect casting. They did. They brought him back.
Oh, God.
He's perfect.
You should keep the same role, people.
I mean, that is why they should... I don't know why they had him as Commissioner Gordon and the freaking... Zack Snyder Justice League.
Yes.
That was a weird pick. I didn't like that one at all. Yeah. And I love J.K. Simmons. I mean, he's a great actor, very underrated. He used to be one of those great that guys where he's like a small role that you're like, hey, it's Stanley Tucci. But now he's a big deal because he's in Whiplash and all that.
He was good in The Accountant. Have you seen The Accountant?
No, I should watch it. Yeah, I should watch it.
That's a really good one. So.
He used to be one of those guys where you're like, hey, it's J.K. Simmons, and now he's become a big deal because he's been good in so much. Stanley Tucci's like that for me too. Stanley Tucci's kind of become a little too big now, but he used to be the guy who's like, hey, it's Tucci. Hey, it's Tucci. He's in this too. Mm-hmm. And now he's kind of
a bunch of minor roles.
Yeah, where you take a bunch of small roles and you just kill it every time.
I agree. Yeah.
But I think Tucci's become a little...
certain actors and actresses that it fits that way. So
I think Tucci still kind of does it. I've never really seen Tucci be a main guy.
Yeah.
I'm part of the Tucci gang.
Okay.
There was something else I was going to say before we go into Happy Time. I had something I wanted to bring up that was interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, Quinn, we are a little less than 2 months away from The Batman with Robert Pattinson as the Bat-Pat.
Mm-hmm. Are we still going?
Yes.
Thursday night?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes. And honestly,
it's the
we might be able to
14th,
get
right?
see an 8 o'clock showing. We probably won't have to go at midnight.
That's fine. You like Polaris?
No, I'm saying like the one that just down there in Delaware shows it usually at 8
Well,
on
that's
Thursday.
fine. I mean, if you want to go there, we can go to the Strand.
Yeah, I like the
You
Strand
got
just
to
because.
reserve seats, though?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll set it all up. That's what I did for
You wanna do
Spider-Man.
that? If not, I was going to... Yeah, you can do it online? They do have it online?
Yeah.
They do have it online?
That's it, man.
Okay, good. That's
I'm saying that'd be
fine. You can go to
easiest because then
Delaware,
it's just a
or
straight
you can go to
shot.
Polaris, yeah.
We can even
Doesn't
get your
matter to me.
freaking canes if that's what you want.
Well, we got to go downtown. We got to go here.
Yeah, it's not that much of a jog.
No, it's not.
It's a
We can-
relatively
Or
small.
we can go somewhere and eat out.
That's
No
that's
issue.
fun too. I don't care.
I don't care.
So-
I'm pretty sure it is it the 17th that's going to be out?
I think it was the 4th.
Look it up.
I thought it was the 4th, but I haven't gotten to my point yet. But
Well, if it's the 4th, it's not going to be happening.
really, yeah, it's the 4th.
Well, it's not going to be happening on the 4th then.
Well, it'll be the 3rd in real
Wrong.
life. Think about it, it'll be the 3rd.
I know. It can't happen on the 3rd either.
Why?
Because of that. So that's why. So,
okay.
anyway, it's going to have to be the 4th then. I'm open.
We'll have to go on a Friday night.
Yep, we're going to have to go Friday night then.
Hopefully there's no basketball.
Or we could do a midnight showing.
That might have to be the move then. if
Yep,
that's
you,
what.
can just, you can just take a nap. Take a nap before. I'll come by, pick you up, then we'll go.
Yeah, that's honestly not a bad
Go
plan.
through
That
my-
might be what we have to do.
Yep, that might be how that has to be. No dinner.
So, thing is, it just released its rating. The MPAA released it as PG-13,
That's how the other
and
ones
people are upset.
Why? It's how it is.
They're like, it's not going to be dark and gritty
Who
enough.
Is it Tipper Gore? Is
Online,
Tipper Gore
people
upset?
online are upset. People online are upset.
Well, I haven't seen them being upset, so they can
I'm very excited for it.
boycott it then. If they don't want to go
They're not
going
going to boycott it.
then
It's going to
don't
be
go see
awesome.
it.
I
That's
think.
how it needs
Here's
to
my
be.
thing with PG-13 rating. You can still make dark stuff with PG-13. I mean, look at The Dark Knight and look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Both PG-13. One is much darker and more violent than the
Yes.
other.
You talking about Burton?
No, The Dark Knight is in like
Yeah.
Nolan.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was totally
Yeah.
not listening. So anyway, so The Dark Knight.
And
yeah,
then Guardians of the
that's darker.
Galaxy is just like a Marvel movie that's very fun and like not violent.
Yeah.
And I'm saying you can do a lot with PG-13. And here's the thing.
Yes.
They're going to make the most money that way. And that's at
Right,
the
you
end of
want
the day,
kids
that's
to
what they're
go.
going for.
You want the kiddies to go. The kiddies.
If Matt Reeves, and I don't think they cut anything either. If it comes out later that they cut up Matt Reeves' movie, well, then it's going to be upsetting. But I'm saying if this was the way it was supposed to be, then that's the way it was supposed to be. Quit
Right.
whining.
Yep, exactly. Yes. And you know what they're doing too? They're doing delayed release on HBO Max 45 days later. Smart move.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that.
Yep, make the money. All right, yes, and it does say, even though it hasn't officially came out yet, it does say the rumors on the street here on the Wikipedia that there are 2 planned sequels to come out afterwards, which is what it should be. Okay?
Yep, trilogy.
I'd like to see, we got the Penguin going to be in this one. We have
Riddler.
The Riddler.
Catwoman.
All right, we're definitely going to have a Joker one in here, and they better have Walking Phoenix come and play the Joker.
I'm hoping.
And Zoe Kravitz needs to stay as Catwoman the same all the way through. But they got to have them with Joker and Two-Face. I would like to see them bring in a couple some French candidates, like
Calendar Man.
not Calendar Man. I'm thinking like Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy. Bring them in.
See, that would be interesting to do like a more, because what I think is interesting is that every Batman series has its own tone. You see, the Burton ones are like this very gothic,
Right.
cartoony, but
They
like
can bring in Scarecrow too.
yeah, this is more like gothic, cartoony look, and then like Batman. What's Batman? Forever. Batman Forever is more campy, comic
Yes,
booky,
with Val Kilmer.
like yeah, and then Batman and Robin's even more that way. Yeah, I know. And then the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises is like real life. Like if it was real. This one is unlike anything else where it looks like it's like real mixed with comics. It's like a balance of like the comic bookiness of Burton
Right.
with like the gothic style with like real life. So I think it's gonna be very interesting. I mean, it looks like it's set in like the
gonna be
19.
good.
It's obviously set in modern day, but it looks like 1930s architecture and everybody's in suits and stuff. I don't know. I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited.
Can't wait. Now we're going to get a redo of the Justice League,
Yeah.
which will never happen.
Well, the Flash movie. I'm hoping with this Flash
It's gonna
movie,
be
they're
good.
gonna connect
It'll
everything
be good.
and
This
work
is
it all
what-
together.
But still, here's my my proposition for the Justice League. It needs to be the Justice League of America, all members. I'm talking Superman, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Apache Chief, Black Lightning, Samurai, all those people.
The thing is with DC,
that's what it needs to be against the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Okay.
the thing is with
Going on, all
DC
those
is that the Justice League is like the Avengers. where there's no real set team. It's just a team over time that's grown. So
Right.
if you go with the original members, Batman's not even in the original. It was Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Let me check. I want to make sure I'm right. Justice League of America, GLA, original. I want to make sure I'm right because I know it's Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash. Because I'm trying to find in like
Justice League
1960
members. That's what it should have the years of them active in this list.
list of Justice League members.
That's
Yep, good
what it
job.
should be.
Good job. Yeah, because the first one they fight Starro. I remember that.
Okay.
So I know Batman wasn't in the original issue.
Well, I think that's a lie. It just says it is.
The original Justice League of America Volume 1. Here it is. We're clicking on this one.
Okay.
This is what we need, right? Oh, no. Here it is. Justice League of America, number 1, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman,
Yes,
Flash.
Green Lantern.
Then they later introduced Superman, and then later Batman. When they did the New 52 run, where they reset the entire universe, it was Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg,
Which is
Aquaman, and who am I forgetting? There was one more, because there's
Green
7.
Lantern.
Green Lantern, you're right. Then when they did Rebirth, right here as you can see, it was Superman, Batman, Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern again. So that's kind of like become like the group of 7 they do. They don't really do Martian Manhunter that much anymore. So I don't know. All I'm saying is I want to see, I know people are like, I like that DC stuff isn't connected. It allows for more creativity. I'm like, you're allowed to be creative and have it connected. I mean,
this is true.
it just frustrates me because I'm like, it's more fun to have it all connected.
See, right here. This is what it is.
Oh, you're doing the Super Friends. You want the Super Friends
Well, this
Justice
is the
League of
Justice
America.
League of America.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it should be Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, Black Vulcan, The Flash, Green Lantern, Apache Chief, Aquaman, Samurai, Hawkman.
See, I think
That's
you
how
can
it should
cut Samurai, Apache Chief, Black Vulcan.
be. No.
They're not going to put those modern
No,
day.
you had to put them in there because how can you have? There were only 11 of them. If you cut out 3 of them, now you got 8.
I guess.
Okay, they're going up against Lex Luthor, Solomon Grundy, Sinestro, Black Manta, Cheetah, Giganta, Scarecrow, Toyman, the Riddler, Bizarro, Brainiac, Captain Cold, and Gorilla Grodd.
It frustrates me that, and also I do like Legion of Doom idea. It frustrates me, though, with DC that they messed up their universe the way they did. I mean, people really like the Snyder Cut. I still need to watch the whole thing. I still need to watch the whole thing.
I haven't watched any of them. I don't want to watch it.
I just want it to be connected because I think that makes it more fun and more interesting for the viewers. And the people that don't watch all of them, they still are like, hey, wait, isn't that? And then you get more people to watch your different movies. Whereas with the way they're all singular,
Yeah.
people that like Aquaman watch Aquaman.
Yes.
People that like Batman watch Batman. Whereas if they were connected, if you watch this Batman movie, Quinn and Aquaman showed up, then you might be like, I'll try Aquaman.
Right.
But now you're not.
Hey, I'm just hoping that the end of the trilogy for Wonder Woman is better than the sequel.
Yeah. No, yeah,
The
exactly.
sequel was still fairly highly rated. It was almost 70%.
But then people
But it
started
needs
not
to be
liking
better.
it. Yeah.
Yep, it needs to be better.
My thing.
More of a dedication to the 1980s.
Now, what are we going to
than
do
Wonder
when we review Batman? Is that just going to be my entire special section? Is
I
just
don't know. I guess
the
it might just be the
massive
whole
review?
episode.
We might just do a whole episode of review.
Yeah, I
we'll
mean-
break it down act by
Well,
act.
we can't do the whole thing because we're starting conference championships conference tournaments that week for NCAA. So
Well, what we'll do is we'll open up with
balance
all
with
the
that.
sports headlines,
Yeah.
and then we
We'll
can
go
play.
right, and that's
I
our
don't even know
game.
if we'll play a game. The game will just be the entire Batman review,
Exactly.
and we'll run through it.
Yeah.
Like we'll run through the movie, the things we liked, and then it'll just be very like when I reviewed No Way Home. It's just very stream of consciousness, us discussing.
right, yeah.
But we'll almost. My thing is, when if we see it on a weekend and we record on the Monday, is our hype going to be gone by then? You think we'll still have it?
Well, if it's good, I'll still have the hype. If it's bad, I'm not gonna have the
Well,
hype.
I'll probably have to see that movie at least twice or maybe 3 times in
I don't need to
theaters.
see it twice.
Oh, I'll
I
see it
can
at
tell
least
you if
twice.
It's a winner or a loser right there.
If you see it twice, that means it's good.
No, I don't need. I guess I don't go to the theater twice to see it.
Did you see Scream yet? I know
No,
you're very
I
excited
was
for it.
supposed to go see it with friends. Now, if people say this is the best sequel to it, it has Rotten Tomatoes 75% favorable ratings on there. Pretty good. And that's actually, it's not the best sequel. Obviously, the Scream 2 is the best sequel, and it's actually got better ratings than the original Scream 2. So, I was supposed to go with friends this past weekend, but it never worked out. So,
Man.
we might be going Friday.
All right. January movies are always yikes. Not a lot of big January movies. I'm thinking like movie schedule wise, this is like the first big movies, The Batman, March 4th. That is like the first big movie.
I mean, I just went to the first time to the theater over Christmas break since pre-COVID. So it's just that there haven't really any bit because movies have all been delayed and haven't seen really any good ones. Now there's some good ones.
It was pretty cool during COVID. I got to see Back to the Future in theaters with like it was like there was only like hardly anybody in the theater, obviously, because it was like July.
Well, yeah, people got things to do. I mean, the theater.
But it was July 2020. I'm saying too.
Oh yeah.
And it was like an evening, and they were showing Back to the Future, and I was like, I gotta go see Back to the Future in theaters. It's pretty cool.
There you go.
So, thought that was interesting. I got to do that. All right, let's move on to Happy Time.
Happy Time. Happy 40th birthday, Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, he's a 3-time NBA champion who played almost his whole career with the Heat. He won a championship alongside Shaq after he ended up there, and 2 when LeBron decided to take his services down from Cleveland. He has been regarded as one of the best defensive players in the NBA during his tenure. I mean, Dwayne Wade, I can only just really, his career, I mean, even though he had that early championship with Shaq, his career really just melds in together with LeBron when LeBron came down.
I think Dwayne Wade's become very underrated because LeBron stands are the worst. This is part of the reason I don't like LeBron as much as I used to, too, is there's fans are very frustrating where they feel, MJ fans are like, man, Scotty's so good, you underrate Scotty. Whereas LeBron fans try to push down the players he's with to make him look better.
Yes.
It's a weird thing. Instead of like elevating the players he played with, they demote them, and I don't like that. And so, you know, they've tried to demote Dwayne Wade and be like, oh, he's not as good as everybody thinks he is. I'm like, Dwayne Wade was legitimately one of the best players in the league, and at some points, like in 2009, he arguably was the best player in the league. It was like him, Kobe, Bryant. Those were like the 3 best at the time. And then like probably Dirk was in that conversation too.
Yes.
So I think Dwayne Wade, you know, he has the 06 finals, and that's his finals. And that, you know, you got to think, guys, that was his 3rd year in the league, winning the finals.
He was the finals MVP.
Yep. He had a heck of a run there. And then, you know, and the Mavericks were heavily favored to win that.
Yep.
And then, you know, he never won Defensive Player of the Year, even though he deserved it. And he's been a great guard. He could have been an MVP, never got one. Like, he never got the awards really he deserved because when he could have done it, LeBron came over. And I mean, that was their choice. But I just think accomplishment-wise, when you list them, they're not extremely impressive. But that's the reason he's underrated is because he never got the accomplishments he should have. I mean, he was one of the best players in the league for a long time there. And he's a heck of a player. So
there you go. Happy anniversary, 25 years ago today, Dennis Rodman. On this day in 1997, Dennis Rodman, who was playing for the Chicago Bulls, went and jumped down onto the baseline and ran into the row of photographers and camera people. And he decided to kick a cameraman. And you can watch and see it in this clip right here.
Missed it. Dennis fights for the rebound, tapped it out, and it'll belong to Minnesota.
He kicked the cameraman. He was really upset. Really upset. Went up in the air, came down on the camera. You thought he sprained his ankle.
And it just adds to the long list of Dennis Rodman antics there and being suspended by the NBA, and definitely for that. So
yeah, they document this on The Last Dance. You should, everybody who hasn't watched The Last Dance, I reference it a good lot. Everybody go do that. But Rodman's a heck of an entertaining fellow. He does some nut stuff.
And I think it's kind of full circle that he was drafted to Detroit, kicked the shit out of Jordan, and then teamed up with Jordan later on. I mean, that's just kind of crazy. But
yeah, that bad boy Pistons team hated MJ, and MJ hated them.
I know.
He said in the 30 for 30 Bad Boys that he's like, I don't know if he said it or Bill said it. I can't remember if Lambeer said it himself, which would probably be pretty fitting. Lambeer, they're a heck of a coach for the WNBA.
Yes.
But I think it might have been Lambeer that said it. He goes, without us, Jordan will never admit it, but we made him better because he had to figure out how to beat us. And that is what. And he goes, after he beat us, he could beat anybody, and that's when he been on his big run.
Yep.
Like, we inadvertently made Jordan go from an amazing player to the greatest player ever.
I agree. And happy trails, Novak Djokovic, the top male tennis player in the world, has been deported from Australia for the 2nd time regarding COVID vaccination status and quarantine, and he will not play in the Australian Open this week. His favorite Grand Slam to play in. Remember, he is 1 Grand Slam away from owning the record of most Grand Slam titles won. So, Djokovic is back in Serbia. He just landed recently today, I believe. So we might see him in the French Open. That's the next one on the schedule.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's easily like one of the best athletes in the world.
And here's the thing too. Think about this. There's no Djokovic, there's no Nadal, and no Federer now at the Australian Open. So it's wide open for anybody.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I just feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's the best tennis player, like male, and tennis players all time. He's probably up there.
Yep.
And I mean, heck of a player.
I still take Serena over him anytime.
No, I mean males though. Sorry, yeah.
I know, but if it's battle of the sexes like Billie Jean King, I'm taking.
Yeah, I'm taking Serena. Me too.
So.
Me too.
All right, big finish time. Ready?
Yep.
Picks for this week. Final 90 seconds for the playoffs, and we're going to see if they're sticking with the choice tonight. Here we go. For the wild card, Rams versus Cardinals.
Gotta still take the Rams.
I'm still taking the Rams too. Titans versus Bengals.
Bengals.
I'm going to go with the Titans. Derrick Henry's back. He's been practicing for 2 weeks. I think he'll be ready.
I knew you'd do it.
Packers versus Niners.
I really want to go with the Niners here.
I know you do.
I really want to. But I'll take the Packers, but I want to go Niners.
I'm going to take the Packers as well. I think they're going to win the game. Chiefs versus Bills.
Chiefs.
Bills here. We gave our reasons earlier. And finally, Bucks versus Rams or Cardinals.
Well, if it's Cardinals, I'm going to take the Bucks, but I think it's going to be Rams, so I'm taking Rams.
All right. You know what? I think it's going to be Rams anyway, but I don't know. I don't care who it is. I think Rams or Cardinals will beat the Bucks.
All right.
That's what I'm going to say. And there it is. That's it. Any shout-outs here?
Well, there's always a big thank you. A big thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, you go first. I got to make sure I get a good thank you.
Oh, me. I always have to go first. I'm going to shout out again. I did this last week to Amy Schneider, current Jeopardy champion. Last week she hit $1 million. This week she just broke. She won as many games, more games now, than James Holzhauer, who won the second most earnings on Jeopardy in the regular season. So congrats to her, winning 33 straight games. She's back on tonight, 7 o'clock, CBS.
I got to give a thank you to the ref crew for the Cowboys game because, and that's not, honestly, they were doing their best job and no one's thanking them. Like, they gave the Cowboys the call to make it 4th and inches for the Niners. And then, of course, the flags came in and the Niners ended up punting, giving the Cowboys the ball to potential winning the game. And then they make that, in my opinion, a bad play call. Running Dak down the field. You say it's the right play call, but
it was the right play call because there was nobody there. They just needed to give the ball to the official when they
instead of having the center spot it. Yep,
the official was right there. They had 6 seconds to get that ball.
If you watch the game, I get that everybody likes to blame the NFL refs, and I usually do too. But on this one, you can't.
On the Bengals Raiders.
Yeah, you can, but you can on this one. I mean, he was sprinting down the field to get there.
Yes, it's not like this one time where I saw an old video. It was at the Raiders when they were still playing both baseball and football together. And the the umpire was running down with the ball, and he fell down.
Oh,
and
no.
Back up, and that lost them about 5 seconds. So it happens to the best of them.
But I'm saying, thank you to those refs. They're going to, for some people, Cowboys fans are the worst. They're going to slander you. And I'm saying,
that's why
you don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
Trash on the field. So, all right. That's it for today.
They threw trash on AT&T?
They did.
Oh, my gosh.
And Jackson get fined for making a comment about it. All right. Thanks for listening. We love you. We'll see you here on the podcast next time. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced, and this episode was recorded on January 17th. The sections of Happy Time, Toss Up, and Big Finish are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and there was no intention to infringe on the copyrights of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Monday here on the Sort of Sports Podcast YouTube channel.